Tonight on All Systems Go, we got a whole lot of love.
And a weird amount of boats. All Systems Go starts right now.
Hello and welcome to All Systems Go, the only show that wishes they kept Sonic's original design.
Look how they massacred my boy! I'm Nick Knuckles the Echidna.
And I'm Jenica Tails the Hedgehog? Let's get into it.
The rapture's coming, folks, and an especially wet one at that. Can you guess what I'm referring to? Oh, the Bioshock JPEG next to me gave it away. Well, it's getting its very own live-action film. Like it or not, a Bioshock Netflix adaptation has been in negotiations for over a year now, and it's on its way to becoming a reality. While neither a release date nor director have been officially chosen yet, this movie is being worked on, and it will come out, probably.
After the rousing success of Sonic 2, Paramount and Sega have... Wait, what's that? Sonic 2 hasn't even come out yet? Well, Paramount and Sega have officially released that the Sonic 3 movie is in development all the same. Since Sonic 2 doesn't speed onto the scene until April 8th, we have no idea what's in store for the third movie, other than the fact that it will, presumably, star everyone's favorite blue blur, Sonic, played by Ben Schwartz. Also in development is a new series all about Knuckles the Echidna, voiced by Idris Elba. Once again, we don't know any of the details of the series, other than it is set to launch on Paramount Plus in 2023.
A new Chip and Dale movie, no, not those ones, is on its way, and it features a pretty star-studded cast in terms of people who were either on SNL or didn't make it on SNL. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney stars the dynamic duo 30 years after the Rescue Rangers ended, but the movie goes a little meta with it. The Chipmunks, along with an array of other characters, know that they are cartoons. The story starts with Chip as a suburban insurance salesman and Dale traveling the nostalgia circuit trying to relive his glory days, even getting a CGI surgery to stay fit. But Chip and Dale must adopt their old show personas as detectives to save an old castmate's life. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers will release on Disney Plus this May 20th.
The Lord of the Rings anime that was announced last year just got some unexpected updates. Good news, the feature-length revival entitled The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim finally got a release date. Bad news, unfortunately, we'll have to wait until April 12th, 2024 to actually see it. That's right, 2 whole years. That's the time it took Sauron to become openly evil after first gaining power. But, as a little treat to hold us over, Warner Bros. Shared some insane concept art showing Middle-earth's King of Rohan, Helm Hammerhand. And to top it all off, Warner Bros. Also said that voice casting will be announced sooner rather than later. So make sure to look out for that precious information.
Super Bowl Sunday has officially come and gone. I know that this crowd did not miss a second of those anticipated TV events that TV has to offer. The commercials. And we got a look at a lot of content this year, including a new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer. And a completely unique and original idea in cinema history, this movie takes a deep dive into what happens when the MCU and multiverse come together. The trailer showed a lot of information, but the gist is that Doctor Strange tries to save any semblance of the world he's living in, and with the help and/or hindrance of the Scarlet Witch. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness premieres in theaters this May 6th.
Amazon has done something incredibly new that has never been done before. They've created an animated superhero show positing the theory that what if superheroes were actually bad and corrupted by power? Wait, what do you mean they already did that? Well, anyways, this new series is not Invincible, but instead, The Boys presents Diabolical. It's an animated anthology set in the universe of the Emmy-nominated hit The Boys. Diabolical will span across 8 episodes, each featuring a different animation style, and will debut March 4th.
Up next, things get a little hard.
And we learn a lasting message about the importance of family. All Systems Go, we'll be right back.
In this next video, Joe decided to teach us the ups and downs of the hard mode. Let's take a look.
Love. Love is a very difficult thing, and trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Whether it be failing a date in real life, or whether you just got flat out rejected by your crush because they don't really reciprocate your feelings, and that kind of sucks, right? But you know what else is really difficult? Video games. Whether it basically be this hard trend because obviously you like playing for a challenge, or whether you just enjoy being a masochist and obviously you just really like hard settings on video games. Hard mode is a very difficult mode for all of us because really it adds a layer of challenge that we don't really know about, or maybe we aren't really brave enough to face. That's not much of a problem because obviously hard mode can be a very difficult thing to face. I just wanted to talk about in this video what hard mode is and, well, just discuss it. Yeah. So hard mode tends to have a very flexible definition. Hard mode in video games acts as a way of telling you, you know what, you're pretty good at this game. Want to try it again, but with an extra challenge that you may or may not enjoy? Or video games with a modifier of hard mode have the tendency to throw everything the game has right at you. And when I mean throw everything, I mean that it is going to throw everything at you and it will not stop for a second. Basically, this means that enemies can have more health, can deal more damage than the normal difficulties, or, well, have insane accuracy. I'm looking at you, Halo 2 Jackals. But perhaps the biggest thing about hard mode is that you are going to die. You're going to die a lot. You can really expect death a lot. And if you do not expect death a lot, expect death a lot because it is going to happen. Hard mode does not intend to be merciful because basically it will exploit any mistake that you make in a video game fight, whether it be during a gunfight in a game like Halo, or in Call of Duty, or just basically in a regular fight, such as basically in a game like Sifu, in which basically the game will consistently shove that fact that you made a mistake down your throat to the point where you die. And, well, yeah. You're going to die. While some games have a hard mode setting that usually is added at the very beginning of the game, in which basically you can dictate exactly what kind of difficulty setting you want to play on, whether you want to choose to play on easy, or whether you want to choose to play on hard mode. Some games are built on the entire structure of being difficult. Some games are just built with testing every molecule in your body until you practically throw the keyboard or the controller that you have out the window and scream every profanity that you have in the dictionary until your lungs start to not fail and that your throat really just hates you. Games like Cuphead and Dark Souls are built on the intention of being difficult, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Challenges are a rewarding experience, and the idea of trial and error becomes more apparent as you play these games. You can develop strategies to understand how to face these enemies and learn their attacks, movesets, and phases, which can ultimately lead to your victory should you be able to memorize these things more and more. And nothing shouts satisfactory more than being a boss that you spent hours on only to get completely massacred before you knocked that last bit of health off. But, in short, and this is just to conclude, hard mode can or cannot be a deterrent looking looking towards a challenge. Some people look at hard mode and yell, "Bring it on," at the top of their lungs, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But some people also stray away from a challenge, and they more or less prefer to play on an easier setting. In some cases, difficulty does not dictate your skill in any way, shape, or form. It may, but difficulty is there as a modifier for how you enjoy the game. Some people prefer to enjoy video games by just enjoying its storyline and its gameplay, and some people just don't really like that challenge. That's fine. I mean, some people enjoy challenges in video games, so some people will intentionally put the difficulty modifier on hard, and that is okay too. It's up to you to determine exactly how you choose to play a video game. And we all have our own way of playing games, so you know what? Go out there and play the video game the way you want to play it, whether it be at the easiest difficulty or the hardest difficulty. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to you to choose how you play a video game. So really, don't feel afraid if you don't feel like a coward if you don't want to play on hard mode. Play the game you want to play. And that's my conclusion.
We don't talk about Bruno, but Nuried sure does. Let's hear her take on the new hit movie, Encanto.
Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing Encanto, the 16th animated film released by Disney. I will be rating everything in the movie, which means spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, mute the TV or the stream, pause the video and come back when I'm done. Let's get into it. Encanto tells the tale of an extraordinary family, the Madrigals, who live hidden in the mountains of Colombia, in a magical house, in a vibrant town, and in a charming place called an Encanto. Their Encanto is created after Abuela went through a complicated situation and got a magic candle. The magic of the Encanto has blessed every child in the family with a unique gift, from super strength to the power to heal or even shape-shifting. Every child except one, Mirabel. Mirabel is the main character of the movie, who tries to help their family and save the Encanto, or magic that they had when she discovers, with a vision from Bruno, that her family might be in risk and she's the last hope to save the magic. Now for the characters and their powers, of course. Abuela is basically the one in charge of the show, as Mirabel said in the song The Family Madrigal. Basically, she got the powers from a candle, a miracle that helped her save her people in the past. Something that is better explained with Dos Oruguitas, that I will talk about in a bit. She had 3 kids, Pepa, Bruno, and Julieta, each of them with different powers. Pepa controls the weather and got married with Felix. Then they had 3 kids, Dolores, who can hear everything, Camilo, who is a shapeshifter, and Antonio, who at the beginning of the movie doesn't have a gift, but afterwards he got his gift and can talk to the animals. In the case of Julieta, she can heal anyone with the food she makes. Julieta got married with Agustin and had 3 kids. Isabela, the oldest one, can grow flowers. Luisa, who is the middle child, and she's super strong. And the youngest one, Mirabel, who doesn't have a gift. But we're going to talk about her in a minute. And the last one, Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
I know, but this is my review and I want to talk about him. Bruno can see the future, but one day he disappeared. That's the basic information you need as for right now. At the beginning of the movie, we can see her as a child going to open her door and get her gift like everyone else did. Obviously, everyone thought that she got a gift at first, or at least that's what I thought. However, after the first song, we realize that she doesn't have power, which connects to Antonio. As I said before, Antonio is the youngest child in the family, which is waiting for his gift. However, we see that he is hiding under the bed in the nursery before the ceremony to get his gift, where Mirabel finds him. Mirabel shows that the ceremony doesn't affect her at all, and tries to support Antonio, telling him that she is sure that everything will be fine. One of the most important moments in the movie is when Mirabel walks down the aisle, with Antonio grabbing her hand. We start to see some kind of flashbacks from Mirabel that explain what happened that day and why the family thinks that the celebration might affect Mirabel and the family. Mirabel was the youngest one before Antonio was born, and the family was afraid that the powers would start to disappear because Mirabel never got one. So when Antonio was born, they had some hope that it was just a mistake. Now, in my opinion, the next couple of minutes after this scene of Mirabel and Antonio walking down the aisle is a great way to show the disappointment she's feeling because she doesn't have powers and how she begs to be part of the family and be accepted by her abuela. To be honest, I definitely consider myself the biggest hater of abuela. She's so hard on Mirabel and even with all of their children and grandchildren, wanting them to be perfect and don't make mistakes. I mean, I understand she was going through a lot in her past and she's afraid to lose what she got, something that we realized afterwards during the movie. This is just a theory that I have and I share with a lot of people who watched the movie. I believe that Mirabel didn't get a gift or superpower because Casita didn't want Mirabel to be controlled by abuela, just like she controls the other members of the family. Lin-Manuel Miranda made it again. He managed to give us a musical that was awesome and the songs really connected with the audience. However, I would love to talk a little bit more in depth about We Don't Talk About Bruno. This song is basically the kids' version of Non-Stop from Hamilton. Non-Stop is the last song on Act 1 and showcases how Lin signs their work without a signature. And he does the same with We Don't Talk About Bruno. Just listen. That's basically the signature that he has. However, there is only one song that wasn't sung by the movie actors, Dos Oruguitas by Sebastián Yatra.
We wanted to write a song that encompasses the love story of Abuela Alma and Abuelo Pedro, and how that leads to the miracle that becomes the Encanto.
The visuals are awesome. I love the game between the lighting and the shadows. It starts with a really colorful scenography, but it gets darker as the movie progresses. In general, the movie is really good. It's the 60th animated movie that they created, and the people behind it were the ones that work on Tangled, Moana, and Zootopia, which are incredible animated movies. Also, they work with a great composer, like Lin-Manuel Miranda, that make it a really good movie. However, as a Latina, I would have loved to see a little bit more of a traditional Colombia, and not just the typical things like the arepas and how they based everything on family and music. In conclusion, you should watch it if you haven't. See you in the next review.
Don't go away, because up next we have a very romantic comment section. All systems go. We'll be right back.
This week in All Systems Go, we will be talking about all things ships. All of us had a favorite couple when we watch a show or play a game, and our cast is not the exception. So, as for right now, I have a couple of questions for all of you guys. So, first of all, which is your favorite ship? Like, in general, TV shows, games, whatever media you can think about.
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so when I was a kid, like one of the first animes I ever watched was Fairy Tail, and I'm not even kidding, the death grip that this ship had on me for my entire life since then has been Lucy and Natsu. They're just like perfect for each other, and I will never be able to let go of them.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, obviously me. As a big JoJo fan, I respect the one and only ship, which is Jonathan, Joestar, and Speedwagon.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I validate that idea. Who else has a favorite shape over there?
You can go first.
Okay.
After you.
So I have official and unofficial. An official one is Krillin and Android 18 and Dragon Ball. Like that's his goals. Like if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Unofficial is Sora, Riku, and Kingdom Hearts because like that's less. It's more one-sided because Riku just looks like a jealous boyfriend in one, and it just kind of sticks.
I see what you're saying. For my favorite relationships when it comes to fictional, I like Lily and Marshall Erickson from How I Met Your Mother a lot. I always thought they were a perfect couple. And then just another one right off the bat was Hawkeye and Colonel Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. Really love that couple together. Just love how they work together. I mean, when he goes blind and she's literally his eyes. Come on, it's great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, sorry, if you guys haven't seen that. I'm
Like
so
the
sorry.
last 10%.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. It's been out for a while, though.
No, you're good. So, who else has a favorite shape over there?
Am I allowed to bring a neurodiverse people?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're like Sheldon Cooper and Amy from The Big Bang Theory.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
really good, yeah.
I believe they're compatible. Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. No, yeah. I always loved watching their back and forths in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the same. So, another question. We know that maybe we have canon shapes on the TV shows like everybody that watched the show loved. But who do you think it's a couple that you like, but they are not canon at all? Like, it's something that didn't match, but you like to see it, like how they work together, things like that. In a game or a video or movie, whatever.
So like one where they're not actually together, but you want them to be?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
Elle in Light Yagami.
Yeah.
I think that's a really
Like
good
to
one.
see it.
That's a good one, yeah,
Easy
for
to do this
sure.
one right now, then.
I mean, if you want to.
'Cause that's what that is.
It's a good one, man. They're made for it. Oh, wait, we talked about this earlier. Joker and Batman. They literally
Right,
can't live without each
exactly.
other.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I
That's
beg to
true.
differ
That's true.
personally.
Honestly.
Like, Harvey Dent and Batman
tension.
is an easy pull for me.
Harvey Dent and Batman? I mean, I can see your argument here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have one more question, and maybe that's going towards hating a couple. That's canon or not canon, I don't really care. But do you have any couple on a movie or a game that you hate? That you're like, no, that doesn't work. Why is it happening? What's going on in there?
Can I start this one?
Yeah, for sure.
Naruto, end of Naruto. Sasuke and Sakura, I hate it so much for like, it
Yes.
messes with both their character developments. It makes Sakura just doesn't do anything, and it's all because they wanted another Uchiha for Boruto. That's the only reason it ends up sticking. It's bad and it's stupid, and I don't like it.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
It's not even. I'm pretty sure it's not even a hot take.
It's a kind of it's a room temperature take.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of hate when they do that. Like, they throw all the character development that they did to match a couple. It's like, oh, why you did that? I don't know. Who else had a couple that you hate, maybe?
I have one that I know it's a very popular ship from My Hero.
Okay.
People really need to stop it with Deku and Bakugo.
Yeah, everybody wants
That's
to
an
be kissed.
abusive
Yeah.
relationship right there.
True.
We ain't about that.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah,
We ain't
he
about
has
that.
more- dude, he literally
Yeah.
gives him a foot rub.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's one that I dislike? Oh yeah, I really like Doctor Who, and I was rewatching it lately, and I always liked the Rose and the Doctor, but I was just rewatching it, and Rose is 19 in the show. I didn't know that. I thought she was just like 25 or something. I mean, the Doctor's 900 some years old, so it's still kind of not that okay. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't think I like it anymore.
It's fine. She's not 100. She's not a criminal. Please.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to know. So, one more question. That's not going towards couples, but more like, who do you think is your celebrity crush? Or maybe a fictional crush that you have for like a TV show or movie that you watch? I'm gonna go, and I had a big debate like minutes ago. I'm gonna go with Iron Man. I don't know. I kind of like him.
Good
I
old
don't know.
Tony.
I don't have like an argument for that, but it's Iron Man. That's my favorite. I don't know. What about you guys?
Bakugo's mom from My Hero.
This man gets it. He gets it.
Anyways,
I don't know. I'd have to think really hard about that.
I got some celebrities. Lily Collins, that's her name, I'm pretty sure. Phil Collins' daughter. That's a celebrity crush for sure.
Yeah. that
Jennifer
is-
Aniston. I don't know how she still looks this good, man. She's getting up there in age.
you
It's
know,
impressive.
honestly.
There's another celebrity crush that I have at the top of my head, but I can't remember it.
Is that really a crush then?
Oh, D, you're right. You're right. You got me. I'm sorry.
You got him on that one.
Love.
I was kidding. I'm sorry.
Zendaya dating Tom Holland almost made me join the real life Sinister Six. So, depending on how you
I really hope they keep it together. I like them together. I think it's cute.
it should have been me.
Yeah, you're right. No.
No, jokes. They're actually a really nice couple.
Okay, so that's all the time we have for tonight. After the break, we will keep talking about love with our review from Nikki about a two-players game. Stay tuned.
It takes two to play the game, but it only takes one to review it. Let's hear what Nikki thought of the divorcive game, It Takes Two.
At the end of last season of ASG, I talked about why Deathloop deserved Game of the Year at the Game Awards, with a special mention to Psychonauts 2. I felt that all of the options for this award were ones that deserved it, but with one exception. Because from what I had seen and heard, I felt that It Takes Two, while good, was simply a tier below the other options. So imagine my surprise when It Takes Two ended up taking home the award. I was mad for the rest of the night, but after I started to cool down, I recognized that I hadn't played this game myself, and wondered if it was really that good. So I recruited my good friend Abby to play with me and make an It Takes review.
Hello.
And I'll be interspersing their thoughts in throughout the video. I'm aware I went into this with some negativity, but I tried to stay as neutral as possible, and Abby had no such bias going into it, so I don't think we let the Game Awards get in the way of our opinions. It Takes Two is a puzzle adventure game, where you and your partner must work together in order to solve various challenges. They give you various different tools depending on the level and which character you are, but there's a big problem here. All of these individual concepts don't stay around for that long, and none of them get expanded very much. Let's compare this to something like Portal 2, for example. They stick with the portal gun the whole time, and they add lasers and reflectors and different kinds of gels and way more, and all of these systems interact with each other, particularly with the portal. Portal 2's mechanics stay relevant the whole game and continue to add variety, but not a single one of the concepts in It Takes Two lasts very long before being thrown away forever. They did the one pipe thing. I'm like, hey, this could be pretty cool. One room this puzzle was used.
Dropped forever. Falls off the face of the earth. Every concept is that way.
So in the end, it feels like a lot of okay games Frankenstein together instead of one really good one, which is a shame because some of what it has is actually really cool. Like this one segment where you fly on a fidget spinner, and I know that sounds weird, but it controls like a dream. But me and Abby finished this segment in 2.5 minutes, and then it never comes up again. It's not bad, but it's not as deep and polished as the games it was up against were. Before we get to my other main point, I want to rapid fire some various things. The soundtrack is really bland, actually. I'm using music from other games for this video because this game's soundtrack is just that boring. Do you remember a single music track from this game?
Nope. Nope. And I had the voices off. So if anybody's noticing the soundtrack, it would have been me.
It's a solid 10 to 12 hour long game, so if you're enjoying it, then you're getting a lot of content. But if you're like me and Abby, it drags on at certain points.
You mentioned this briefly while we were playing, Nikki. A lot of the things that the characters say are solving the puzzles for you.
Yeah, they're solving the puzzles for you with the dialogue. I'm about to say, oh, what if we try this? And one of the characters like, hey, what if we try this? I'm like, son of a, I figured it out! The split screen is for both local co-op and online play, and I see the appeal, but I'm not a fan of it. Instead of needing to communicate your point of view and actually cooperate, you could just see both screens, and therefore both points of view. Lastly, the game was mostly pretty easy, but there were a few weird difficulty spikes.
The boss fight with the monkey got very difficult for me for some reason.
I was just making my way through the thing, and then I looked over and I just saw, like, Death Wish Snatcher, a hat in time. There's more stuff that I like, but it's really minor. Like, the acting is really good, but that can only go so far. Now we get to the other main talking point, the story. So we follow Cody and May, a married couple who clearly don't get along and are planning on divorcing. They tell their daughter, Rose, who then goes off and cries on some dolls she made that look like her parents, and asks a love advice book to help them stay friends. And then, the parents become the dolls, the book comes to life and tells them they need to fix their relationship in order to get back to normal. The problem, though, is that Cody and May are not likable characters. They blame each other for every little thing that goes badly, hardly admit they ever did anything wrong, and instead deflect the conversation to the other person's failings. They rarely have a productive conversation about their relationship, and we never really get reasons for wanting them to stay together. And then there is this f***ing book.
Okay, the book is terrible.
The book sucks.
I hate that. I hate the book.
They try to play the book like some wise sage that he simply isn't, as he forces them into couples therapy that they don't consent to, and even causes some of their arguments by delaying their progress. And with the accent and body movements, I can't tell if this is supposed to be a parody or a stereotype or what angle they're going for here. And the tone of the game is weird too. There are a few scenes that would be really disturbing for a kid to see, like the parents literally destroying their own kids' toys. And yet it won Best Family Game at the Game Awards? How? They kinda get better in the second half when we see how these two fell in love at all, but this should have been done way earlier. They hardly go into detail with it, and they only partially address any of the issues that made them want to get divorced at all. I don't have the time to go in depth, and if I did, I would go into a lot more detail about more problems I have with the plot. But if you want specifics, there are a lot of posts that go into the details. So in conclusion, because of the average gameplay, terrible narrative, and lack of anything big enough to make up for it, the highest score I can give this game is 4 books of love out of 10. There are a few really cool moments, but it has no real substance to carry it the whole way. So on a scale from 1 to 10.
3.
3. That is actually high. That is higher than I thought you'd give it. Full transparency, for the second half of the game I just watched a playthrough, me and Abby could only do 4 out of the 7 chapters because we weren't having fun. But I have seen the rest of the gameplay and the narrative, and from my observations, the issues still persist. If I have made it over halfway through the game, I feel that that is enough to make an informed decision. Looking online, it is clear that our opinion is in the vast minority, because you can easily find tons of people singing its praises. But I just don't get it, and I haven't seen anybody really address my points, so I personally can't recommend it, but do what you will. It's your choice at the end of the day. That's all for this It Takes review. I'll see you guys next time.
Up next, we've got even more ships, some interesting takes, and one unique talent. All systems go. We'll be right back. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, love you too. Bye, Jeff Bezos. This week in All Systems Go, we'll be talking about all things ships. All of us have had a favorite freighter when we watched a show or played a game, and our cast is not the exception. So guys, I thought today we should talk about our favorite ships. Thus is the theme of Valentine's Day. So to start out, Jenica, what is your favorite ship?
I have a lot of ships that I really love, but I'm gonna say, for the sake of our episode, my favorite ship is the Hephaestus from Wolf 359.
Would you say, okay, so the Hephaestus from Wolf 59.
Mm-hmm. It's a space ship.
It's a space station, okay.
Yeah, space station.
What is the most that's ever been damaged?
Well, one time, the star it was orbiting around went a little funky. caused a fun little maelstrom in space, and well, let's just say that wasn't great for the ship. It kind of just destroyed the entire ship for the most part. There's a lot of bad things for the characters, and it's kind of still broken throughout the entire rest of the podcast.
Yikes. That's cool. What specific fun fact would you like to share about the Hephaestus?
I think something that's really fun about the Hephaestus is the computer processing unit in it, named Hera, is sentient, and she is wonderful and hilarious, and I love her with my whole heart. And also, there's a plant in the vents that is maybe evil, maybe a little bit carnivorous. Just fun, cute things.
Just cute spaceship things.
Just cute spaceship things.
Joe, what's your favorite ship?
So I actually have two favorite ships, actually. The first one that I wanted to talk about was actually the Bebop from Cowboy Bebop. So there's a picture of it. So, I mean, I think it's really cool.
Pretty cool. What's the most the Bebop has ever, what's the hardest the Bebop's ever gone through? It's the most it's gotten beaten up.
I don't exactly remember how much it's gotten beaten up. I mean, a lot of the times during the episodes, you'll just see it docked, or like they're pulling into like into shore or something, and then they're just doing all this stuff. They're doing repairs to it. But we're gonna discount the live action Cowboy Bebop. We're just gonna talk about the anime Cowboy Bebop because that one's better. And really, if you were to say the live action, then it was just like a jump drive unit, but that was it.
What would you, so I hear you have another ship for us.
Yes, and that would be my favorite ship of all time, and I'm gonna say it's the best ship, Halo 3 Pelican. Yep, that is one of the best ships of all time.
What would you, do you have any fun facts about the Pelican for us?
No, except the fact that it's undergone a lot of changes since it was first shown off. One of the biggest things is obviously, you can take it into space. It's one of the most prominent vehicles in Halo, and in Halo Infinite, there is a glitch where you can actually drive the Pelican. So that's one of the funnest facts I've got.
I'm having fun already. Olivia, what's your favorite ship?
So I'm gonna cut straight to the point. I like fishing. Fishing's really a lot of fun, and this summer I got to do a lot of that. So I like boats like this. Now, like short boats where you can like cast a rod off of them and catch a lot of fish. Yeah, no. And if you take it home, my favorite type of fish to eat particularly are walleye or whitefish that you catch in like the Great Lakes. Bass are also pretty good. Catfish are a little bit mealy. I haven't had perch, but I hear those are really good. But over the summer, we caught a lot of like largemouth bass. That's me with one of them. Largemouth bass in Lake Michigan. You can see on my shirt, I have little lures there. I got that at a thrift shop up there. Yeah. But the waters of Lake Michigan are sometimes not kind to boats, but otherwise, it could be a pretty fun time.
Pretty cool. What would you say, what's the most your ship has ever undergone in terms of damage?
So I can't speak for my boat particularly, but I can speak for a little one known as the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. At one point, there was like a really big storm up in the Great Lakes. And it really it capsized a boat so bad that they haven't found it today. So, it can be a little bit dangerous, doing stuff up there. But otherwise, it can be a lot of fun.
Cool. Brody, what's your favorite ship?
Well, if I had to pick one, I would say it would be Boba Fett's starship, formerly known as the Slave One from Star Wars.
Pretty cool. And what's the most the Slave One has ever undergone in terms of damage? It's ever gotten beaten up?
It's never taken any damage in the movies, but I think the most damage it probably took was sitting in Jabba's palace for like 5 years.
I can imagine, yeah.
Like collecting dust.
Do you have any fun facts about the Slave One?
The fact that it is, in canon, it's called a Fire Spray 31 gunship, which is the name they actually used in the Book of Boba Fett when talking about the ship, because as everyone at home probably knows, the ship underwent a name change. They dropped the slave out of the name and just call it Boba Fett's Starship on merchandise. Or in the show, they'll just call it by the type of vehicle it is.
That's a very interesting creative decision on their part. Thank you for telling us about your favorite ship, Brody.
No problem.
Alexa, what is your favorite ship?
So my favorite ship of all time definitely has to be the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
Pretty cool. Now, I know the Millennium Falcon has undergone a lot of damage. So
Yes.
what do you think has been the most the Millennium Falcon has ever been beaten up?
I don't know what'd be the most. It gets beat up a lot, especially in the newer movies. I feel like they're always fixing the Falcon. I don't know if there's like one that where it got completely destroyed.
Okay. And what is a special fun fact about the Millennium Falcon?
The Millennium Falcon. Han Solo won it from Lando in a game of cards, and it can make the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Ha ha ha! Cool
Making it
story,
the
Mark.
best ship.
Coming up next, Madison gives us a review of Smiling Friends. Don't close those eyes.
We all know the water cycle. Let me tell you about the Madison cycle. Womb, Newgrounds, tomb. That's my life. I discovered Newgrounds.com when I was 11 years old, and I have never been worse as a person because of it. Despite this, I still hold Newgrounds in high regard because it's where I got to first experience people like Oni NG, Lyle Rath, Spaz Kid. These people had a tremendous effect on my humor, even to this day. I grew up with these people, so it's not crazy to say that their influence on me was bigger and better than Obama and Jesus combined. So that brings us to the topic of our video about two Newgrounds creators coming together, making sweet, sweet love, and creating this show that we call Smiling Friends. Smiling Friends premiered on January 10th of this year, and anyone who didn't mind staying up until 3 a.m. that night got the treat of a lifetime because it showed the entire season. We'd been waiting for this since the pilot got released last year, and it did not disappoint. Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack delivered an excellent 8-episode season with absurd and dry humor galore.
He's just right in here. I hope he's not sleeping.
It follows two friends and coworkers, Pim and Charlie, along with Alan, Glep, and the boss, who all work at a humble charity where their goal is to make you smile. It even featured 2 holiday episodes, which I would typically be quick to criticize that because it's kind of a trope to just throw those into any given TV, but they managed to really put their own spin on it and make it feel fresh. Especially in the Halloween episode where they threw in some mixed media with kind of the monster. Not sure who has seen the monster yet, so I won't spoil it here, but it really genuinely terrified me when it showed up on screen. The series itself is like a love letter to Newgrounds. If you watch the series and you have a deep-cut knowledge about Newgrounds and YouTube, you'll pick up on a few famous internet figures being slipped in. And for those remarkable little fellas who noticed without even needing to look it up, you get a gold sticker. There was a good mix of recurring voices and one-liners from some of these notable figures. Of course, we had such favorites as Tom Fulp, owner of Newgrounds, David Firth, who made famous for Salad Fingers, Chris O'Neill, and even Chills. They also wanted to have Chris W. Chandler of Quickie fame to be in this show, but unfortunately, he was a little preoccupied at the time. In short, this series meant a lot to me. It was, as my good friend Garrett would say, it is a...
Putting that in the review.
It is essentially a love letter to Newgrounds, and I appreciate it so much that it exists. And part of the reason it exists is because so many people were vying for the pilot to be greenlit, because so many people wanted Zach and Michael to see success. I'm looking forward to see what they do for season 2. So happy for these guys that they got a season 2. So go home, watch this show. I'm not telling you where it is, just go look. And I'll know if you don't watch it tonight. And you'll know that I know, because I have a little buddy here who's gonna be in your bed tonight if you don't watch it. Ooh, angsty little fella, aren't ya?
Spider ass, this next segment is full of class. She can tell who is there from a look at his derriere. Jenna's quizzed on some spider ass.
I'm Jenna Alflin, and I'm a writer for All Systems Go. I can identify Spider-Men based on their butts. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's pure intuition. It's just like a gut feeling. Like, there are some hints that you can look at the suit. It really is just like a skill you have within inside of you. Like, I don't know how I do it, I just know. I feel bad trying to like objectify them because that's not what this is. This is science at the end of the day. But I have to go with Garfield. Oh, that's Tom. Toby. Andrew Garfield. Tom. Is that Andrew? Toby. Tom. 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 Oh, that is Andrew. I remember the shot from the trailer now. Oh my god. I was too confident. That's Tom. No? What is that angle? I'm gonna go Andrew. Tom. Toby. I'm going Toby. Is it Toby as well? Okay. I thought I'd do worse, to be honest, but I'm also a little disappointed that I didn't get all of them. I got so many, but I could have done better.
For tonight, don't forget to come back next week at 9 for your weekly fix of ASG.
Please come back. And if that's not enough, you can always check out our social media.
I'm Jenica.
And I'm Nick Thaman. All systems go, signing off.